Hello and welcome back to Two Thirds for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5 breakdown. I'm delighted as always to be joined by sadboycare. How are you doing today, Care?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. The weather's sort of getting a little bit nicer. Everything's kind of like going back to normal here. It's nice for the pubs to be open, really.
Yeah. We haven't had that kind of change, but I'm sure that you guys are very excited to be out of the house.
It's been absolutely mental. So I think it was on the Monday. There was because I think we had like snow first thing in the morning, and there was a queue at 9 o'clock at one of the local pubs.
Oh my god, in the snow.
Yeah, people were just sitting out in the snow to have a pint. Love it, love to see it. But yeah, this episode, obviously we're doing like a day after the episode came out yesterday, and we didn't really I didn't get time. You were free as a bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't really get time to kind of like record this. So yeah, what did you really make of the episode, I suppose?
I liked it. I really liked it. I gave it at 8.5, but I think I could bump it up. Because I don't know. I thought it was like... I don't even know. I really liked it. It was just like a very good, like, kind of filler episode, but like leading up to the end. Like, I thought it was a very good, there's a word for it. I don't know. Incline episode, I guess, where it like leads up to the climax of the entire
Okay, yeah, like a penultimate. Yeah, it was a good penultimate episode. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Like, it's kind of it was closing off some sections, but basically it was still giving us like new information. It's kind of exactly what you want, like leading into the final episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just kind of good to see everything. It was nice to have a post-credit scene for a change, because we haven't seen them at all. So
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't
Oh
know
my
that.
god.
I always check, and I always check the timeline, and I'm like, oh, okay, so there's like 6 minutes left. And this time I think it was like 7, but I in my head I was like, oh, that means there's not a post-credit scene, so I didn't even watch it.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't, to be honest, like, it wasn't a big one. You kind of could have gotten away with it. I was speaking about this with a friend. But yeah, it was nice to have something, because I always watch it all the way through and then realise that there's nothing there. So it was nice. It was nice to have a change. Obviously, just want to put a disclaimer out there before we do continue. There will be some spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, go watch it now, unless you don't mind it being spoiled. So, episode starts off. John Walker obviously is recently avenged Lamar, and then he has this entire fight with Bucky and Sam. My favourite bit from that, just because it was like just pure lunacy, was when John Walker was sort of like, I am Captain America. I loved that.
Oh my god, he kept saying it too, and I was like, dude, let it go. Like, honestly. I was like, bro, I don't know. I just kept coming back to that, like, I saw this on one of those Facebook groups that we're in, but it was like a picture of like, it was a screen cap from Captain America, and it was the scientist guy, and he was like, there's a difference between a perfect soldier and a good man. And that was just like playing in my head the whole time, and I was like, shut up. Like, you're not the guy that you think you are. Yeah. Just because you're a good soldier doesn't mean that you're a good guy. Like, and that's very much been proven. But yeah, that was like, it was kind of like a delusion almost. Like, it seemed like a delusion. I was just like, this guy is like losing his mind.
He was definitely like, he's become a very strange character. From where we sort of like started off, like, I know that you didn't really like the second episode too much, but where it was kind of looking into John Walker as a person and introducing him to the MCU, he's come a long way, because you've just seen it kind of like small doses of like things that would irritate you but wouldn't sort of you know, turn you crazy or whatever, and it's just it's gotten to this point where he's just like switched, like doesn't care about anything. Even Bucky and Sam, like when they approach him, they're trying to like consolidate him and trying to like you know, tell him to turn himself in. Like,
come on, dude, like, you know that you just did something really bad at this point. I really liked that like first scene. I really liked the way that they did that.
I was surprised that it was a first scene, to be honest. I don't think I really expected it to like happen straight away.
I liked it. I liked that they kind of just like threw us in to like the immediate aftermath of what happened. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was, I don't know. I thought it was really well done though. I really liked it.
Okay, yeah. What did you make of Sam? Because he obviously passes the wings on to Torres.
Oh my god! I have in my notes, in all caps, I have keep 'em. Oh my god! When he was just like keep 'em, I was like ah! I was so excited. I got so excited for him. I was like yay! That was like the moment where it was like, I feel like that. Even though it was just like kind of like an offhand comment, and he was just like, "Yeah, keep him, like whatever, I don't care." Like it was kind of like the moment where he switched from being the Falcon to being the new, like Captain America, which I was just like, it made me really excited.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we get to see Torres in the final episode as well, because like the wings are damaged, so it's kind of like it depends how much time has really passed before. They get to what we expect will be like a huge fight scene, I would imagine.
I think he'll show up. I think that'd be really cool if he did too.
Yeah, I think it would make sense to kind of like still introduce him as the new Falcon whilst the series is going on, rather than sort of like a later thing. But yeah, so kind of onto like the big cameo that we were kind of promised. And me and you both had to research to find out who this girl was. But Contessa, Val, basically for short, because do you have the full name there?
No, I don't.
Okay,
like
I do.
Something. Contessa,
yeah, I do have it actually, because I was doing the
I don't know.
I was doing the written post. So it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Or Val, for short. I think Val is a lot easier to remember. Yeah, so from what you found out researching, good addition to the MCU, you think?
Yeah. I still don't really know who she is. Like, I really... like, I looked her up, and it was just, like, very basic information about her. They were like, oh, she's, like, a secret agent. And I was like, okay. But like what? So I think it could be interesting. I really do think that it could be like a new interesting character. It kind of gives me like, not really, like not the same, but like it gives me like the verge of like a Black Widow vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll like replace her or like what's going on, but like I do think, I don't know. Because I also kind of thought that she was Hydra. Like, when she came in, I was like, she seems Hydra. Like, she's egging on the guy who just killed a guy in front of people and then doesn't care. You know? I don't know.
I had exactly the same feeling, and I think, like, researching it as well kind of, like, backs it up from what we can kind of expect from her. Yeah, like, I think it's just kind of... because we've been talking about this since episode 1, that, like, Hydra's back, like, they're still around sort of thing. And yeah, I definitely think Val is going to be a part of that. From what I could tell from, like, sort of looking online, she's like an anti-Nick Fury. Like, she does exactly the same. She's going to pop up here and there. And yeah, we're going to sort of, like, talk more on this on fans' theories, because we haven't got too much... nothing's really been spoken about in the last sort of, like, week. But yeah, we've got a little bit to talk about on that. But yeah, like, interesting addition, I think, and I think you're going to see her a lot propping up in sort of the next few MCU movies, series, whatever. Yeah, definitely think we're going to see her pop up a lot. Okay, so Zemo, they managed to track him down, or Bucky manages to track him down, and he goes off to Wakanda quite, like, easily. Like, I was really surprised. It's almost like, why did he run away?
I liked the way that they did that, though. I liked that he just kind of, like, I don't know. I think he really was expecting Bucky to kill him when he got there. Like, or, I don't know. Because, like, he didn't really care when Bucky pulled a gun out on him. You know?
Yeah, that's what
He
I
just
was
was kinda
noticing.
But then again, he also wanted to die after Civil War.
Hmm. Yeah,
He was, like,
it was a
after
bit of a
Civil War, he
confusing one
was
to get
like-
your head around, but
Yeah. So, like, I feel like I don't know, because after Civil War, he was like, I did what I needed to do, like, whatever. And then he obviously wasn't allowed to kill himself, and he went into jail. And then he got broken out of jail, and now he is trying, he ruined the super soldier serum. So I feel like he was like, okay, now I'm good. So, like,
Yeah.
if Bucky wants to kill me, it's fine. Like, I don't really care. But I liked the way that the Dora Milaje came in and was just like, we're gonna take you to Wakanda, and we're gonna deal with you down there, because this is not working out.
yeah.
But
I don't know, yeah, it was just a whole sort of surprising moment, really. Like, yeah, like, I think the whole sort of, like, Bucky holding a gun up to him and pulling the trigger, like, there was just no fear in Zemo's face at all. Which, you know, if a gun was pointed at me and somebody pulled the trigger, I think, you know, I would shit myself, to put it nicely. Like,
yeah. I mean, I just think of, like, his whole backstory and everything, and how, like, his family is, like, dead. He's, like, the only one left. So he's just kind of like, if someone wants to kill me, I'm okay with that. Because there's a point where, like I said, like, he wanted to, like, get things done, and then he wanted to be with his family again.
yeah.
So I was not surprised when he was just kind of, like, stood there and, like, let him do it, you know?
Do you reckon we'll see him again in the MCU?
I think so. I
think Thunderbolts.
I don't know when or how, but I think we will.
Yeah. I think yeah, we could see his Thunderbolts definitely come into play. Did you end up researching it at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, you should have a look at it at some point. Because yeah, it's definitely some sort of interesting stuff. I think there's a couple of names who you will sort of, like, recognise. But yeah, no, I do feel like he's going to make some return in some form at some point, and I think it will be the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the whole sort of scene with Sam and Black Captain America.
Yes.
Where basically Isaiah explains everything that kind of happened to him.
Yeah.
Interesting scene. That's what I can say.
I understand Isaiah's, like, contempt for Captain America, and, like, he doesn't want Sam to be Captain America. Like, I understand why. But I also, I don't know. Like, I think Sam's situation is obviously very different from Isaiah's. Where Isaiah was a super soldier, and Sam is just kind of, like, a guy who has been working with Captain America for years and years and years, and he's like, he understands, like, the emotional toll that it takes on you, whereas Isaiah just is like, he feels just, what's the word? I want to say revenge, but it's not revenge. Like, he doesn't like the.
He's just a bit traumatized, I think, isn't he? He's just traumatized from the entire experience of being a Black Captain America, and I think, like, you just really can't blame him. Like, from everything that he's saying, like being in prison, then withholding the letters from his wife, to then having to fake his own death. Like, it's gonna take a big toll on his character. So yeah, I'm just glad that we, you know, kind of got to see that side. Glad that we got to see Isaiah again. I am really looking forward to seeing where Eli will come in at some point, whether it'll be in this series in the next episode. But
there was a line when Sam was gonna go in there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll be in the back or something," or like, "I'll be back there in a sec" or something. But he never actually showed up, so that kind of made me feel like it was like, I'll be back in a different episode, or like not in a different episode, but like in a different capacity in the MCU somehow. you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, because he was like, yeah, like, I'll be right there. But he never, like, actually showed up. I don't know. That's just me picking apart the writing of it, but...
I don't know, yeah, it should be interesting. I'm sure we'll see Eli in at some point, but I don't know if it'll be this series. I don't know. It seems like they're just trying to chuck so much in. That's kind of how I felt with this episode. Even to what we'll kind of come on to now is the whole like fixing the boat thing. Like again, I do love that as like an added storyline, but it felt like it went on forever again.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was cute though, because I thought the way Bucky showed up and he was just dropping something off, but then he was like, oh, like, let me help you. And then they became, like, actually friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, yay. I was like, because I love their dynamic. I love the way they just, like, butt heads. But the way Bucky, like, he helped him out with the boat, and then he was like, okay, we're going to train you with this shield because it's difficult. And, like, then they were just, like, training together, and then when Bucky left and he was like, they were like trying to figure out like a name for their like relationship, like their situation, I was just like, this is so funny. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it.
It never really occurred to me as well, like how difficult it was to use the shield.
Yeah.
Like you see Sam doing all the sort of like capoeira and moves like that, and I'm just a bit like, man, this stuff's complicated. Like, I really don't remember it being like that. So, yeah, it was nice to...
It also was, like, when they were starting out, like, I didn't realize it until Sam started trying to, like, catch the shield himself. But every time they, like, threw the shield, Bucky caught it with his, like, with his special arm. So I was, like... I didn't think of it at the time, but then once Sam was, like, he kept messing up, I was like, oh, that's why they were doing that together, because Sam can't catch the shield.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I did like that. Okay, so kind of like onto something else, and we're going to try and speed through these last ones. Yes. Sharon, we can tell, is, a high power, whether it's kind of the head of Smashing Flags or the Power Broker, but she sets up Batroc or George St. Pierre to go and work with Carly. Thoughts on that?
At the time of the phone call, I had no idea who she was speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just am so bad with names. So I was reading the name and I was like, why do we know the name, but I don't know who this person is? And then the guy showed up and I didn't recognize him. And I was like, who is this guy? And then I was like, oh, that's the guy she was on the phone with. And then I was like, oh my god, it's the guy from the first episode.
Yeah.
So
I think it does take like a split second.
It took me a second.
It does, yeah. It took me a second as well. I will be honest.
I like that they brought him back.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what Sharon's deal is. I think I have in my notes that I think she's the power broker.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because why would she, if she's the power broker and she's texting Carly and being like, get me my serum back, why would she then set up a drop to help Carly? You know?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I think was kind of like, you don't really know, but unless she's just kind of setting them up,
Maybe.
That's the only thing that I can really see. Or maybe it's become more, because there's no more super serums, they've all been destroyed, maybe it's time that she's just going to use Carly to her advantage, maybe that's the way that they go forward with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What do you make of their plan to sort of like stop the GRC vote and everything? Like, it's becoming very sort of political now with Carly.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really interesting. I loved the way the episode ended on like a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. I loved that. I was like, because when the like screens went dark and everything, I was like, oh, it's going to happen now? Because I didn't realize how much of the episode was left. And then the episode ended and I was like, interesting. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I think it was always political, in a way, like it's based around like refugee policy. Like that's what she has an issue with, and she's become a refugee because people came back from the blip. So like it's always been a political thing.
Yeah.
She's just...
I think it's just grown more and more. Like, we were talking a couple of episodes back that Carly's gotten too big for her boots. And I think now she's like, just, way in over her head. Yeah. I think that's kind of where I was going with political.
I don't know. I have no idea what the next episode is going to be like. I don't know how it's going to start. I don't know. Like, I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. But I think it's going to be really interesting. It gave me, like, Civil War Sokovia Accords, like, vibes.
Yeah. Like, they're kind of in the wrong, but not really in the wrong.
Yeah. Like, but, like, also just the whole scope of it where it's, like, they're messing up, like, this big political meeting, basically. You know? Like, when they met at the UN, and they were like, we're just gonna sign the Sokovia Accords here and whatever, and then Zemo blew up the place. Like, that's kind of, like, the vibe that I got.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm interested to see where it goes, because obviously it's gonna be a lot more than just, like, taking out their electronics. But it's gonna be interesting.
So, obviously, the final bit where Sam is opening the case that Bucky gave to him, the Wakandan.
Yeah.
I'm believing that's a suit.
I think so. I have in my notes that it might be wings. But I don't think it's wings.
I didn't think about that. I don't know. I don't know what new Cap is going to look like, right?
I don't know what he's supposed to look like. I don't know what his whole... Because I know, like, in the comics, he obviously becomes Captain America. I don't know what his getup is. And I feel like if it was wings...
He'd just give them to Torres again.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Here you go, these ones work. Like...
yeah. Don't bother fixing the other ones, like, you can have these. But, like, I feel like Torres is very techy, and I think he's gonna fix up the wings himself. And then just show up. And, like, Sam's not gonna know anything about it until he shows up. You know?
Yeah. I reckon that could...
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely... that's the only thing that I could really think of. Like, I don't know what else it could be. And yeah, it's interesting the way that they've done it like that. Like, he hasn't pulled a suit out or anything. It's kind of like, I really want to know what's in there.
Yeah, it's another cliffhanger. There's like 2 cliffhangers at the end of this episode.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. I only got one more, so yeah, it's all coming to a point. And it was just it's a good way to end things, because it's got me, again, more excited and gives you more questions for the final episode. So definitely looking forward to that.
I'm really excited for the new episode.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the post-credit scene. So obviously Care hasn't seen it. So it features US agent or John Walker making his own shield. If you had gone on social media...
No! I'm so glad I haven't seen it. I would have punched my TV if I watched that. No!
Yeah. It was kind of quite annoying. God. And it was interesting as well, because like I was going to say, like, if you had been on social media, like, you would have seen the memes about it. It's just absolutely hilarious.
I don't think I've been on Facebook since, like, a couple days ago. So and that's where I get, like, all my Marvel stuff. So
so
oh, I hate that.
I really thought he was going to be done in this series, but now I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to show up in New York. I feel like he's going to show up in New York. I think that he might be done in this series. I think that this might be, like, where he ends. But I think it's going to be, like, he's going to be a part of the next episode. He's going to try and take out Carly himself while everyone else is there trying to take her out, if that makes sense, you know?
Okay, so you do think that he'll be in the next episode?
I think he'll be in the next episode, especially since if he's making his own shield, he's obviously trying to, like, I don't know, like, become some kind of free agent, like, what is it called? Vigilante kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
has like the wrong motive. So I feel like he will go after Carly in New York.
Yeah, I guess it's a possibility. I don't know. I think the whole thing with Val kind of was like making me think it doesn't sound like it's immediate.
True. That's true too.
She
I
was
didn't
just
think
like,
about
wait for my call sort of thing. So
that.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That could be like the first like movie that they do about him being Captain America, you know? Something about like US agent coming back or something.
Yeah. I reckon it could be another post-credit scene. Thinking about it,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it'll be. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's a possibility. There's loads of. I was just surprised.
He
I was
obviously
just
is
really
gonna come
surprised.
back, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I just don't know whether it's going to be in the
he was
next
come
episode.
back. I was like, nothing really happened.
It's like it's like I've been saying though. Like they've just been subtly setting him up to be like a really good villain.
Yeah.
Which now that Val, and we've kind of learned about Val, it makes a lot of sense why they're doing that, because they're going to get a team of sort of villains to take on the new Avengers or whatever. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Overall rating for the episode, what did you give it again?
I gave it an 8.5,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I could give it a 9.
Interesting.
It was really good.
Okay, so you preferred it to the last week's episode?
No. Last week's episode... No, wait. Yeah, last week's episode was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I gave it an 8.5, because I think I gave it a 9 last week.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Was it last week's episode?
Last week's was really good, yeah. Last week's was like the cliffhanger.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
I
really liked last week's. So I think this one's like almost as good. Like if last week's was a 9, this one's like an 8.7, 8.8.
Yeah.
You know?
I was quite similar with my rating as well, like, because I think last week I gave it an 8. This week I've kind of gone for a 7.5. Like, I think the only thing that I did touch on that kind of let it falter was just there was just so much being covered.
Yeah.
Like with the whole
lot.
Yeah, but it's good because the episodes are getting longer and we love to just see more Marvel on the screen. But yeah, it just felt like it was a little bit too much at times.
Yeah. I liked it though. Like when it said that it was going to be an hour-long episode, I thought it was going to drag a little bit more than it did.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think it dragged really ever. Even with like the scene of them like fixing up the boat, I was like, I don't see this dragging. Like I think it's fine, you know? I don't know. I thought it was like not I had my it had my attention the whole time, so.
Okay, so on to fans' theories. It's quite slim pickings in this last week, but obviously the recent news, if you have seen it, I'm hoping you have.
I haven't.
You've not heard anything. Okay.
I haven't seen
Dr. Ock, I think it was yesterday, he's been announced for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Ooh.
So it pretty much kind of is confirming the multiverse is going to happen. Obviously the potential of seeing those sort of like free Spider-Men. I really hope that we just see that meme. It's going to take place.
I want it so bad.
I want it so bad.
That I've been waiting for that for like so long. That's just like all I want.
If they don't do it, they have missed huge potential.
No, they have to. They have to.
There's no way they can not know that literally every fan in the MCU wants to see that.
Oh my god, that would just be amazing, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So basically the film is going to take place from when Dr. Ock falls in is it like a pool or something, when he fights Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Spider-Man No Way Home is going to continue from that exact point.
Okay.
So he survives that fall.
They're not going to use the same actor, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is going to be weird because he's going to be like quite old now.
I was like, it's been like 20 years. He's
Yeah.
gonna be a little older than he was before. Wow, that's interesting. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, definitely. The other theory that I did come across, or I think it was a theory, I'm pretty sure this has actually been confirmed. But I reckon. Actually, no, I haven't seen anything like officially confirmed, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's a theory. I think we're gonna see Val in Black Widow. That's what I've seen floating around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
can see
really
that.
like that theory. Yeah.
Because she gives me, like, shady vibes.
Yeah.
And, like, Black Widow was, like, shady before.
Yeah. I think she's like part Russian as well. Val is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it gave me, like, I don't know, it's Russian secret agents, I just think of, like, Black Widow. So, that's why it gave me, like, Black Widow vibes. I would not be surprised if she showed up in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be surprised. And I think it's interesting as well because that will... Obviously, Black Widow is in the past, we know, because she's dead. Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
But it will be interesting if that is going to be an actual Val from the past, or if that's the point where she starts kind of like becoming more of like a Hydra person. You know?
So, like,
if she's a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or is she Hydra there?
Oh, I was thinking that she trained with Romanoff.
Potentially. She could be the one who finds Black Widow. I really don't know when Black Widow is set from what I can remember.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just know that we're going to see her in there. Like, a strong possibility. Like I was saying, I haven't seen official confirmation, but yeah, it seems it's going that way. It's basically the same with like the Free Spider-Man Doctor Strange 2, because that hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's everywhere. So it's kind of we know it's going to happen. Did you manage to find any theories this week?
No, I haven't.
Okay, no worries. So we'll just go on to predictions.
I usually don't like look up things before we. Can you tell?
No, mate, didn't realise that at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so predictions for the next episode, you go.
I like I said before, I don't really have any idea what's gonna happen. All I know is that there's gonna be a giant climactic fight between between Sam, Bucky, and Carly and her people. That's all I know. Yeah. I have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen in the next episode.
Do you reckon? Do you put Sharon in that mix though?
Yeah, it really makes me wonder. Cause did she get like blipped away? Do we know? I don't think she did, right?
No, because she's moved to Madripoor.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that. I feel like she got in with, like, shady stuff when everyone was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's, like, not, like, a bad guy, but, like, not on the good guys team anymore.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
I just really feel like Sharon is going to end up having a good fight scene with Sam and Bucky.
You think she's going to fight them?
I missed that.
Fight them or fight with them?
Fight them.
I think
because it's going to be the final episode. It's going to be a realization who Sharon is, what she's been doing. She's been manipulating everyone. Bam.
Yeah, I agree. I would not be surprised if she fought them.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting.
Do you think the way that they were talking that like Carly was not going to give up or whatever? Do you reckon Carly? I know this is like last week's prediction technically, but do you reckon Carly has to die in this final episode?
I don't know. I really don't. Because, like I've said, like, before, I think I said this last week, like, I'm kind of on her side. Like, I agree with her beliefs. I don't agree with how she's doing things, but I agree with, like, it's really weird to me, because what I don't get is the people who didn't get blipped away are the refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you would think that the people who just like show up after 5 years would be the ones who are the refugees, right? Like, so from what I understand of like how this goes on is people came back, and then did they like, were they able to like just move back? Like, did they just live in their apartments again and then kick out the people who were living there? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand like how it works, because Carly and her people were there for 5 years, but she's now a refugee because everyone came back. I don't know if this is making any sense. It doesn't really make sense to me that like the people who were there for 5 years are the ones that like get kicked out of the places that they were living for 5 years because someone just showed up.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like I said, like I just kind of like struggled to understand her sort of like morals in the last couple of episodes, because she's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And that's just why I kind of think that like she needs to die, because I think Sam and Bucky kind of understand that nothing's going to change her mind. Like they tried to have a conversation with her. And yeah, like I don't know. I think the whole like blip thing, I think it's just, I don't know. I don't think they've like cocked up anywhere, but I think it's just the way that Carly's kind of like found her way to power, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's because you look at her character now, and that's like what she's been craving.
Yeah, like she definitely is like super radicalized now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I mean when I say like I don't believe in the way that she's going about things, like how she's like blowing people up and like just doing terrible things. But I agree that she should not have been kicked out of the place that she's been living just because people came back. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with what she intended in the beginning. I don't agree with what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with her actions. But I agree with the overall, like, beliefs that she has.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's everything.
I don't know if she has to die, though.
But I don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it. Okay, I think that is everything. So, thank you very much for watching or listening on Spotify. It's going to be interesting because this is actually going to be the first episode where we've got podcast music, which I've managed to source for us. Yeah. So that should be an interesting one. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to myself and Care talk about the latest episodes. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new. Also check out the links in the description, where you can also find Care's channel as well as at the end of this video. So that's all from us today, and we will see you next week.
Bye.